Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1997's Soul Food. So before we get started, if you want to follow us on social media, you could follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok at Kiss the Reviews. And obviously, we're going to keep promoting it. If you want to subscribe and follow us on Patreon, it's a couple of bucks barrier of entry. We have a few different tiers, and our highest tier is a $10 subscriber tier, which includes Kiss the Reviews merch. So every 3 months after you sign up, you get a sticker, and then you get like a little mini print. You get the mug, you get the t-shirt every 3 months. So every quarter after you sign up, you get something for free.
And we have in the $10 party area, we have watch parties. We've watched a couple movies together live. That's been a lot of fun. Yep. We have giveaways outside of the merch side that you get anyway. Yep. We give away movie posters, fucking movie masks from scary movies. Done that a couple times. Been a good time. It's worth it, man. And as I've so eloquently stated before, it is literally the cost of one trip to McDonald's a month.
Yes.
It's that simple, man.
Absolutely.
And we won't raise our rates on you like McDonald's, you fucking 200% inflation cocksuckers.
Hell yes.
1997 Soul Food stars Vanessa Williams as Teri, Vivica A. Fox as Maxine, Nia Long as Bird, Michael Beach as Miles, Mekhi Phifer as Lem, Jeffrey D. Sams as Kenny, Brandon Hammond as Ahmad, and Irma P. Hall as Mama Joe. Okay, one quick thing before we jump into the movie. When I see a cast like this, all good actors, right? I'm like, oh, this is a good movie. And I haven't seen this in a minute. But when I see a long list of really good actors, I'm like, shit, I'm in for something. There's, and I'm not saying I'm a stupid man. Maybe I am.
Yeah.
But for the purposes of what we do, right? Watching movies, I take notes, we go through scene descriptions, yada, yada, make fun of the movie, and then we're out. There are so many little plot twists and points, and then he does this, and then she does this in reaction to this. But I'm like, dude, just give me a family blow up. Everything's good or everything's bad. Like, just give me. There's so many little notes that I took throughout this thing. Like, I had to condense everything so we can keep it within 2 hours of us discussing how much of a piece of shit this person was or that person was.
Yeah, I came away from this with an interesting perspective. And I'm not spoiling anything or our roundup here, but we've been doing this show for 5-some years now, right? We've got a wonderful, wonderful audience in the Black community who have suggested some fantastic movies. A lot I haven't seen. A lot revolving around family drama between couples, older generations versus younger generations, etc. And I have to say, this is terrible PR for the Black community. Like, what the fuck is going on? Develop alcoholism and stay quiet like white people. What in the fuck are you guys doing? This is insane.
I think I made the first connection. Well, I made the first connection years ago. That the Black community and the Italian community are very, very similar. They are very similar in this regard as well, because there's a lot of family drama in the Italian community, and everybody fights and everybody talks shit about everybody. And then it's like Sunday dinner. All right. The whores come in, the assholes come in.
Dude,
everybody just.
I have yet to see a what I think we have widely described as a culture as a black movie. I have yet to see one revolving around family drama where there isn't a massive threat of physical violence, like choking the fuck out of your wife or chasing your husband around a fucking party with kids at it with a knife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like leaving your little sister in a burning kitchen, which also happens. Like there's a lot of fucking shit going on here. And I'm like, dude, white people just kill each other in their sleep. Like, and then we're like, oh, I was insane, doctor, because mom didn't fucking love me and fed me applesauce for 3 years straight. And they're like, dismissed, 20 days of psychiatric treatment.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
Well, let's get into this one. So this movie opens with Ahmad. He's narrating the whole beginning. He narrates throughout, but they're at Bird and Lem's wedding. Ahmad is Maxine's son.
Mm-hmm.
We get the intro into all of the characters in this family affair. We have Bird's ex, Simuel, who shows up, tries to cop a feel. Lem's ex is on the dance floor, grinding her ass with him at the reception. And I got a quick, don't do that for everybody. Just based on this. And listen, Italian weddings are fantastic. And you do have to invite all the people, even the pieces of shit that you don't like. But this is for everybody else outside of that.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi. People who are preparing for a wedding, part of a wedding party, or are involved in the planning of said wedding. Friends or otherwise, don't invite exes to your wedding. And if you're the ex that is invited or not, don't go to the wedding. You have lost the right to attend said event. The minute you become an ex, you're done.
I completely disagree with you. This is a smooth move. Clearly Bird wants it. And the little upper titty cleavage rub he does. That's the move right there. Here's $100 bill I'm going to rub across your titty and then stuff down your cleavage like you ain't shit. That's the move.
What the fuck?
We then get more narrating from Ahmad about the family through the years, including Uncle Pete, who apparently has Alzheimer's or something, stays in his room. And we cut to a Sunday dinner where we find out, while Teri and Maxine argue, that Mama Joe has diabetes.
So, you got diabetes.
Her lackadaisical behavior about all the family drama tells me she does not give a fuck about her diet. It is just straight no shit. All old people over a certain weight have diabetes.
Diabetes.
Not to give shit away, but she goes to she burns herself on the stove. She has zero feeling in her arm. She's got an issue with her leg. They're like, we got to lop that bitch off. And she's just like, nah, I'm good. Like, she doesn't care about the family fighting. She just leans into it. Like, she's ripping on Teri in the kitchen for being on her second marriage. Like,
Teri, stop running down your family. Pay more attention to your own man. You're already on husband number 2.
She's leaning into all of it. And she reminds me more of like you and me, because she's like, oh, this is an obvious thing. I'm just going to start making fun of people now. Like, there's no arguing on her part. She's like, I'm just going to rip on you.
Yeah, except for this is classic avoidance. I had this thought last night, like, you didn't really prepare your children that well for life without you. You know what I mean? Because your family is a fucking mess and nobody's allowed to talk about it. Every time you do, you're just shoving fucking fried catfish in somebody's fucking mouth. Which awesome, but also
it's not bad.
Awesome, but also these girls needed to be out in the fucking yard 20 years ago with boxing gloves on, sorting this shit out.
100%.
This needed to be decided. Like
100%.
this is classic avoidance, and this is why I'm so thankful I belong to a fucking Irish alcoholic mess of a fucking family where it's just like, I heard you may have said something that maybe directly affects me, so now I have to go all the way in and we're going to go full on out. And then you end up outside fighting like grown-ups.
Yeah, Italians do not do that. We hold it in until it boils over one day, and you may or may not get to fisticuffs.
You're pulling stone cold stunners over tables.
You were correct.
Speaking of Maxine and Terry, we also get the history behind why they have issues with each other. Because Maxine's current husband, Kenny, was Terry's boyfriend when they were younger. Maxine took him from Terry, and they dated and got married. So that's why they have the beef with each other.
And Terry should have known. She never would have been happy with Kenny. Come on.
Listen, Terry should have known. Like, this is the history behind the beef. I want the history behind why she's such an uptight prick.
And that's why I'm a successful lawyer.
A couple things here. Like, I get it. Vivica A. Fox is a little bit younger than Vanessa Williams. But just because you gave Vanessa Williams a Hillary Clinton haircut doesn't mean Vanessa Williams is ugly. And we're all sitting here pretending like she's the ugly girl in the fucking family. Again, it's a Queen Latifah paradox. Like, stop this shit. She's not. She's not. The only reason she's ugly is her insides. Her personality is fucking terrible.
It's dog shit.
Yeah, it's vomit fucking green. Disgusting. So her like having this weird jealousy with Max, and Max is the girl because she's pretty and she stole blah 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 Kenny, and like get over it. And I have to do this.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, every lawyer on the planet. You ain't shit. You're not a doctor. I can do your job. And you know how I know that? Because I can literally tell the judge, I would like to represent myself in this case. I can't legally perform a surgery on myself. That's illegal. But I can walk into a court and defend myself and say, get the fuck out of here. So drop your, I'm highly educated and I'm a lawyer. Big fucking deal. If I ever get arrested, I'll be a lawyer too.
You know what? You might not be able to operate on yourself, but I can certainly self-medicate.
Oh, I guarantee you that's fucking happening.
But we also, at this Sunday dinner, we also see Cousin Faith. Cousin Faith, according to Ahmad, she's big trouble, which in kids speak means that she's a whore. So during this whole thing, like Maxine goes into labor, they rush her to the hospital. We kind of just shuffle by Faith. But the minute she walks in, everybody's like, oh, here we go. She's gonna, like, I don't know, steal money and suck somebody's dick. Like something you could just tell as soon as everybody's face. Okay. And again, making the comparison between a black family and an Italian family. The ability to read people's faces and the expression and know exactly what the fuck they're thinking is on point. The minute she walks in, everybody just goes, this bitch. Everybody. And that is like to a T, every single Italian person does the exact same thing when the piece of shit walks through the door. There's a lot of this going on, like, fuck this fucking guy.
Yeah, your ass better have been invited if you're walking into a family dinner around my family. But if you're just like, hey guys, I'm here. I'm the wayward fucking dick sucking money stealing, whatever the fudge you called her. It's like, yeah, you need to go. You ain't sucking anybody's dick tonight, bitch. You need to go.
Yeah, well, and not for nothing, but the only person that looks like they want her there or isn't upset that she's there is Mama Joe and the pastor, because the pastor just wants to get his pee-pee wet, like throughout this whole movie. Like that's his whole job.
Yeah, I want to be a pastor.
Sounds like a great gig.
His suits were kind of awesome. He's like he's my version of a Steve Harvey suit because he got a little bit of flair in it, but he doesn't go all the way with it. It's still just a suit.
Yeah. You get invited to Sunday dinners.
Yep. And you just get to talk about like how dope everybody's daughters are. You fucking pervert.
Beautiful breasts and delicious legs on the table.
Which, by the way,
talk about falling down and trying to grab a titty when you trip.
I know. Oh, he's doing that. He's not even tripping. So we talked about it a little bit before the show, but in this scene, just the spread on the table, I'm not going to lie, I wanted to pause it and go cook something real quick.
Oh my God.
Like,
this is why I hate watching some of these movies where the food is just incredible.
Yeah, if you haven't had, this is for anybody watching this, if you haven't had soul food, I don't know, maybe go on Google and read some reviews of if you don't have like soul food places around you only got a couple, just to see what's quality. Quality soul food is fucking amazing. 70,000 calories, which is why Mama Joe has diabetes, but it's loaded with all kinds of shit that's not good for you, but it fucking tastes amazing.
Yeah, just make sure you're getting real soul food. Don't go to like Ruby Tuesdays is celebrating Juneteenth this year. Don't do that.
No, don't do that at all.
That's gonna be terrible.
That's dog shit. It's gonna be as good as their fucking salads.
Well, that's exactly it. It's gonna be a soul food bar. Like all you can eat soul food. Ugh.
After this is where Mama Joe gets the news that she's going to have her leg cut off, and she refuses at first, but she goes in. She finally says, "Fine, I'll chop my leg off." So she goes in, has the surgery, and falls into a coma because she had a stroke during said surgery. And
there's a shock.
To your point, the family, after she goes into a coma, fucking falls apart. The whole family is not prepared for life after mom.
Dude, she just went into the coma and Terry's like, fuck you! Like, she's done. She's like, let's bury this big bitch. Let's get her fucking cremated because I ain't paying for this big ass casket we gotta buy. Let's
sell this house.
Let's sell this house. Let's burn every bridge we have. Matter of fact, I'm going to take your kids away from you, Maxine, because I'm rich and I'm a lawyer, so I can do that. Poor ass. I seen your small kitchen. Like, she's going to go the fuck off on this whole family. It is insane.
Well, and apparently this happens
Eric
on Saturday.
and Lyle Menendez took it easier on their fucking family than Terry's doing right now.
Jesus Christ!
Well, during this whole thing, they're literally arguing over a lifeless body at this point. And Maxine's like, hey, for tomorrow, for Sunday dinner. Terry goes like, we can't have Sunday dinner. Like, she's not going to be there. Did you just stop fucking eating when people die? Because you just ate with them? The fuck out of here. No. And what nobody says here, which I don't know that if I liked it or if I was like, why wouldn't you write this in? Nobody said, this is what Mama Joe would have wanted. She would have wanted us to all get together because she was selfless and she, the family. But nobody goes there. Terry's like, I'm rich and I pay for everything and nobody pays me back for shit. And Maxine's like, fuck you, Terry. You're just mad because I stole your fucking boyfriend 30 fucking years ago or whatever. And everybody just gets mad and exits. And no more Sunday dinner.
This is what I don't understand. Terry, you don't have to come. Sunday dinners happened whether you were there or not. So go ahead. Go.
Yeah.
We'll eat bird shitty cooking. Maxine will cook. Ahmad's been wanting to cook this whole damn time. They got the little girl making dumplings at one point. Like, let's go. We don't need you. Go lawyer something. Johnny Cochran, get the fuck out of here.
They don't need her. Apparently, she thinks everybody needs her because her husband, Miles, is like, hey, because he's a lawyer too. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you took $5,000. There's $5,000 missing out of our savings account. And I need to know where that went. And he's like, yeah, apparently he has a band, Earth, Wind, and Fire, because there's 37 members in this band. But he's like,
include Babyface and Casey and JoJo, by the way.
Yes.
I think they're going to make it. I think they're going to make it, guys. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. But he's like, yeah, we're gonna book some recording time. We're, taking this more seriously and yada yada. And she's just like, well, that's my money. He's like, bitch, I'm a fucking lawyer too. Like, you ain't the only one getting paid in here. That's our money, and half that shit is mine.
Yeah, I
And
think
she
the
gets
only
mad
one. I think the only one that thinks Faith is going to steal money is the real money grubbing whore in the fucking family, being Teri. Because you're a monster, Scrooge McDuck. You're
Yes.
a fucking
Well,
monster of a
and-
person.
Because you have Babyface and the rest, right? And the other 87 members of the band. He's like, I'm not going to be a lawyer anymore because I'm pretty sure we're going to make it. I'm going to go at this full time. And she's just like, what are you, insane? And it's like, okay, I don't know how long you two have been lawyers, but you make a pretty decent living as a lawyer. I know a couple of them. And unless you've been total dog shit with your money, which it sounds like they're not, because we got the savings and we got this and I pay for everything and blah, blah, blah. So you got money and you're still going to work. You're going to make partner. And then you're like, well, you can't go, what are we going to do? Not move into the $10 million house now? Like she gets so pissed at him for like, this has been my dream my whole life. I'm just going to go at it. It's not like if you stop being a lawyer, you can't go back to being a lawyer again.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's not like you have to turn in your lawyer card. Like, oh,
yeah,
here's my bar card. I guess I'm done now lawyering.
No more lawyering for me.
Yeah, you can still be a lawyer. You have a law degree, which is pretty much one of the main requirements for, being a lawyer.
Yep.
So end of the fucking discussion. And I was astounded here because Terry's like, there's only $31,000 of that money is yours. I'm like, you got $30,000 of your own money in a joint savings account?
And my favorite line is he goes, I think we need separate accounts. Which, by the way, if you don't have separate accounts, that's the way to do it, man. Me and my wife have had separate accounts for eons. That's the way to do it.
I've been earning interest of $5 for the last 13 years because my ex-wife and I still have a joint checking account.
Hell yes.
This is one of the things in the movies that pisses me off, and I know it's because Faith has showed up, yada, 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 or Ahmad, or I forget who walks in at this point that breaks up the argument. I think it's Faith.
Faith.
But he says, tomorrow we're getting separate checking accounts. And she goes, okay, just tell me next time. And he goes, okay, fine. No, this isn't the first time these two have had this argument. I can guarantee you. So tomorrow, like I said, we're getting joint checking accounts. And then, no, I won't tell you when I take any of my money out the fucking bank because this is how you wanted to play it.
Yes.
That argument needs to continue.
100%.
Because if that argument continues, he doesn't go fucking balls deep in her cousin.
Exactly. Well, and this is where it starts. And here's the whole thing. And we talk about this with a lot of movies. This is the whole plot device. Nobody communicates. Like, it's amazing how things can work themselves out if you actually fucking talk to one another. But plot devices and things. So we move on. This is where Faith goes to see Kenny play. And at the bar with, Casey and JoJo and Boys to Men and every other boy band, grown men, a cappella group ever. It's 50 of them on stage. This is how you know there's too many people in your goddamn band. They have 2 keyboard players. You only need one. And by the way, the only people that are making it in that band, I'll include Kenny because he almost seems like he's producing as well. Or Miles. It almost seems like he's producing as well, as along with playing. You got a white drummer and another white keyboard player. Those guys are going bye-bye, okay? This ain't the Jimi Hendrix experience.
I was just gonna say that.
You guys can take a fucking walk.
Yeah, matter of fact, the other two guys in the group, I think they're Babyface's brothers, or they're Casey and JoJo, one of Casey and JoJo's brothers. But either way, they're related somehow to the actual like big time famous singers in the group. Those guys can go home too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Boys to Men, 4. Belle Biv DeVoe, 3. You know what I'm saying? We don't need 26 people up here.
No. This
isn't Sly and the Family Stone. We're good.
The only way that this works with that many people is if you're Sly or if you're Earth, Wind, and Fire, and you're performing on massive stages. Bars don't have that much space on stage. You're going to have 6 motherfuckers off to the side, just like...
Yeah, you got a whole section of a restaurant blocked off. Your stage is just tables not being used.
But, so we have Faith go and sees Miles play here. They have their little discussion. You could tell something's a brewing. And if you didn't think that she was going to try to get with Miles, you'd be wrong. So we cut to Bird and Lem at home one afternoon. He tells her, because she catches him at home, and she's like, why aren't you at work? He tells her that he's been fired. He's been on a bunch of interviews, but he can't get hired because he's got an arrest on his record. And it cuts back to Faith. Like, there's a lot of these quick cuts. It's like this conversation, then that conversation. That's the only thing that's a little hard to follow.
I did like this conversation real quick. The realism in this conversation between Bird
100%
and Lem, because Bird is giving him shit about getting fired and going to look for a job and trying to get a job. And he's like, I've been on 6 interviews. They fucking won't hire me. Yep. And she immediately is like, oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She checks herself so quick.
The tone changes immediately.
I loved that conversation between them. Loved it.
Yep.
What she does next is fucking the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. But this conversation was so realistic, and this is how that kind of shit should go. Because, by the way, it's way harder for a black man to find a job than it is a white guy. But it's motherfucking hard to find a job. Period.
Oh, hell yeah.
So when your man comes home and he says, I've been hunting for a job, he's been fucking hunting for a job. Shut the fuck up with riding his dick. Okay? And stop looking at his dick, like Lem says. You fucking
That's a great, by the way, that's a great way to end the scene.
Oh, it's
he's
perfect.
like, stop looking at my dick, because he's already pissed.
Yep.
Stop looking at my dick.
This is where we have Faith. She has like a dance audition because she wants to be like a professional dancer and not just a pole dancer. So she runs into some trouble here. So she asks Miles to play the piano so she can dance, because apparently CDs or cassettes don't exist. So she needs a live pianist to come play. Mm-hmm. And she says
she wants that live pianist, all right.
Oh, for sure. And so she says, play anything. So he plays I Ain't Mad at You by Tupac.
Dude, this guy is literally about to become Rick Rubin.
Okay.
I hope he doesn't become P. Diddy, but I'm leaning more towards Rick Rubin.
I think it's funny because he's got, like, obviously with Casey and JoJo and Babyface and the rest of the, Get Fresh crew, like, they're recording a CD. As a musician, you figure you'd have like music in your head that you're currently recording. You'd be like, oh, I'll play this. This will be a nice little ditty for her to dance to and yada, yada. He's like, no, I'm going straight fucking Tupac. That shit just came out last week.
Because that shit on the piano sounds smooth as
it does.
Fuck.
It does. Like, as soon as he started playing it, I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that.
Dude, my fingers immediately started crossing when he started playing it. It just happened.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
This is where Bird steps into her shit. So she invites her ex, who was copping a feel at the wedding, to her salon. And she asks for him to get Lem a job where he works. So Lem then gets home thinking that he got this gig. He's super happy. He got it with Kenny's help because Kenny made a call, but they didn't really know who Kenny was. They're like, who the fuck is that? But he's like, fuck it, doesn't matter. I got this job. It's awesome. And when he gets home and he's excited and he starts telling her about it, he immediately sees her. Like, she's got rose petals on the table and champagne, and she's dressed in a little nightie or whatever. Like, not for nothing, but if you're a dude that just got into an argument with your wife about like the whole nobody's hiring and blah, 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 you get home and for no reason, she's got rose petals and champagne, and you're like, dude, I didn't even tell you I got a job. What's all this bullshit for? That's a red flag. She knows something happened for me.
Well, yeah, you're missing one very large variable here, and that is you are not carrying Mekhi Phifer's dick around. When you have that kind of thing, so I've heard, this kind of shit just happens randomly.
Apparently.
You're actually treated like the king that you are when that thing's waving around. So she saw that in the bathroom, didn't get it, and then all of a sudden you come home to like her in a negligee and a nice dinner and rose petals. Makes total sense.
She's like, give me that cookie dough roll. Oh, okay,
exactly.
I'll let that one slide.
For guys like me and you, this ain't happening. Yeah, no, this ain't happening unless she fucked the mailman or like.
I was gonna say
lost my savings.
Somebody that
TCBY, I don't know.
Somebody that wasn't me got blown that day. That's all I'm saying when I walk in and I see that shit, that spread.
Yeah, like let me smell your breath, bitch.
Damn.
It cuts here to Samuel talking to Lem at lunch. He goes into the cafeteria and Lem's having lunch, and Samuel lets him know that he pulled some strings to get him the job because he knew his wife back in the day, so he knew Bird. He has a little nickname for her that he used to go. And he just continually digs himself into this thing.
Didn't think that would happen.
Yeah, I know, right? So Lem here like beats the ever-loving shit out of him, which, as he should. And it starts so well. This is very Italian, by the way. He's eating lunch, and what Italians do is they look for the first weapon they can find, and he's like, my lunch tray looks good, and he just fucks him up with the lunch tray and then proceeds to beat the shit out of him. Yep. This scene is awesome from front to it is, even though you know it's coming, because obviously you need a resolution here. So you know this shit's coming. Such a great scene.
Oh yeah, dude. Like this, for those of you that don't know, this is how we used to get down back in the day. There wasn't like this 15-minute preamble of, you mad, bro? What up, bro? You mad, bro? That shit. The Alabama boat dock fight is what the fuck we used to do on the reg, okay? You fucking kids have no idea how we used to get down. So Lem doing this is standard Gen X shit. This is what we do. You pick up the cafeteria tray, you smack them in the face, and you haul off and keep whooping that ass.
Yeah, until they don't move anymore.
Yep.
Till they can't get up and hit you again.
Yep.
There's no pushing and shoving.
You were right.
He's done beating that ass, and then he goes straight to Bird's salon, and he assaults her here because he knows what's going on. He flips out, and what? Assault?
He gave her a little. He gave her a little push.
He accosts her.
Gave her a little push.
I pushed her, and that was bad enough. But I didn't hit her. I would never, ever hit a woman. Do you believe me?
Do you believe me?
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck you want that kid to believe you. You got like 6 grown men in there that'll fucking murder you. Teri already tried to have you murder, and you're like, hey, 10-year-old, are we cool? Yeah, buy him a G.I. Joe. You're cool.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah, he doesn't. Let's cool our jets with the salt.
I mean, he put hands on her. He didn't hit her.
Pushing's okay. Hey,
But he shook the shit out of her.
Pushing's okay. She ain't a baby. You ain't gonna hurt that brain.
After this, he's like, I need to go cool my jets. So he goes to the bar and he's drinking. Terry calls the cousins and says,
Hey, no guns, you hear me?
so they show up and they take the no guns thing to heart. They're like, okay, no guns. How about a little rustle tussle? How about a punch to the face? This motherfucker just hitting dudes over the head with a bottle? That's your first fucking move?
And then Lem shows that he is that one.
Yeah.
Because he pulls some Neo shit, slips out of all of it, and has his gun pulled on the main dude. I blinked and that happened. I'm like, yo.
The best part
Lem
about
is John Wick.
Yes,
Period.
The best part is how he does it because he sees where they are, hits him in the head. Okay, first of all, you hit me in the head. I'm just going down like, ow. Like that's what's happening. I'm crumbling.
I sound like Trump when he got shot. I'm like, where are my shoes? Where are my shoes?
But he pushes the one dude, like pushes him away. So he's a little bit far away, hits the one dude, turns around, hits the other dude, then pulls the gun. Like he does it in such a perfect, to your point, John Wick manner. He's got and he's got the gun on dude's head immediately. But he gets arrested. He gets taken away. Now he's got a gun charge. He's already been arrested once. So this one's bad. And everybody sees him get hauled off.
He's fucked. And meanwhile, Terry just is like, job done.
You were right.
Terry's shit was pretty gangster. Like that's some Italian shit. You don't have any of the evidence. You have no facts, and you're just like, hey, I need you to do me a favor real quick. Can you get a 2x4 and a bat and go to this guy's house? That's the most gangster shit. I hate Teri, but this is the most Italian shit she did.
Oh, calling the cousins is fine. I have no problem with that. But having it lead to the arrest and then just being like, I don't know what happened. Oopsie daisies.
Who called them?
Bitch.
But
and we all know Teri is the type of character, too, that would have stepped forward and been like, you're welcome, Bert. I took care of another fucking problem for you. You got my loan money paid yet? You know what I mean? Like, she wouldn't have been quiet about that.
Yep. But she gets what's coming to her because Faith then hooks up with Miles. Because
Faith gets what's coming to her. You know what I'm saying?
So she hooks up with Miles while Teri isn't home. Teri finally gets home. She's got Ahmad with her. She sees them in Miles' studio banging it out. And she quickly leaves. And it cuts to everyone getting together for Maxine and Kenny's anniversary. Everybody's having a great time until shit breaks off because Maxine suggests that Teri and Miles pay Mama Joe's medical bills and they'll all pay them back in installments.
Which is so fucking... I love Maxine and Kenny through this. This is the most normal couple. They got a normal house. They got kids on the way, kids already raising. Everybody's working and doing their thing. They seem so well adjusted. And the second money comes up, Maxine's like, well, I think Teri should just pay it all. Like, bitch.
Well, and not for nothing.
Do you know Miles only has $30,000 in his savings account? Times are tough.
How are they going to fucking pay for all this? Listen, read the room, man. You know how she is. She's already throwing money in your face. Read the motherfucking room. And if you're going to bring it up, and that's your whole plan, like, yeah, they'll pay for it. We'll pay you back, $20 a month. Like, this is a fucking check into cash kind of fucking deal. How about you don't do it at a fucking party? Where, by the way, I don't know if Teri's been drinking, but everybody else has been drinking.
Well, you also have to take into consideration, too, that Kenny walked into the room, saw Teri crying, comforts her. Teri's talking about, like, marrying Kenny because her life may have been different and she wouldn't be such an asshole. And then Maxine walks in and is like, hey, bitch, give us some more money. And Kenny's like, hey, Terry, it makes the most sense. Like, you should have told Maxine when she walked in, like,
Yeah.
it ain't the time. Like, there's some shit happening with your sister. You need to talk to her.
Yes.
Like, get the girls together. You all need to talk and work. For some reason, maybe Ahmad should be there too, because he's like the only one with sage advice now that Big Mama's comatose.
Yeah, I like that the 12-year-old is the goddamn adult in every room.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what happened to me when I was 12? I got shooed out of every room. Get the fuck out of here, little motherfucker.
Hell yes.
Yeah, for Maxine and Kenny to just do this and take this like approach, and there's a lot of these scenes, which I think is almost what you're talking about with like some of these hard cut scenes.
Yeah.
That they skip around to a lot is it just seems like they're totally separate from everything else that's happening because this just isn't right. Maxine would never do this and just approach it like, hey, fuck it, Terry. You seem emotionally a disaster right now. Give me money because I know that's the only thing you want to protect. You know what I mean? Kenny would have said something like, this was just wrong of them for being so perfect the whole time.
Yeah.
This is where they're fucked up. But I do like also the fact that lends credence to what Terry thinks. Terry's not crazy. All her family does is look at her for money. They never try and work anything out. What's really equitable, paying 3 ways, and just pay it off together.
Yeah.
It's Terry will pay it. Terry will foot the bill. Terry will give us money. I get where she's coming from a little bit.
And what are you going to say, huh?
Terry.
Terry what?
After this, there's a whole fucking mess with Terry putting Mama Joe's house up for sale. They go to lunch. Maxine tells Terry she won't allow it. And she went to a lawyer, and Bird lets Maxine know that she's pregnant with Lem's kid. Like, there's a lot going on right now. And then apparently Terry feels bad, so she pulls some strings to get Lem out of jail after he's been sitting in jail because of her for fucking weeks.
Yeah, Terry actually, I do give Terry a little bit of credit here because she, one, is going through it emotionally. She actually has a legitimate reason to be going. Her marriage is done. It's a pile of fucking garbage. And it is exactly what she said was going to happen, and everybody told her she was being harsh. Right? She predicted this shit like fucking Nostradamus. So her having this kind of train of thought of like, okay, I made some mistakes. That should happen to everyone when your family files a fucking injunction against you.
Yes.
Whenever they hand you legal papers that say cease and desist, that's time to go have a chat with the man in the mirror, like Michael said. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
time. It's time.
Yeah. Yep. But after this is when Ahmad comes up with this brainchild, because Mama Joe there's always been the rumor that she always had this like money stashed away, like a shitload of cash. And so he literally goes to everyone individually and was like, hey, before Mama Joe died, because she wakes up for about 2 seconds and then she dies. So after that, he goes to everybody and individually and says, hey, Mama Joe told me about the cash. She told me where it is. Meet me at the house on Sunday at 3 p.m. He's given everybody like an exact time. Like the whole, like, first of all, how are you getting to the house? Are you riding your bike? Is your mom dropping you off? You're only telling me. I'm sure your mom's got to know. Why are you trying to split this with me? But he concocts this whole fakakta plan to get the whole family over there for Sunday dinner.
This kid's the golden child. He probably turned into a fucking robin and flew over there.
But everybody gets there. It's super awkward. And at the awkward dinner, we get more family infighting. Ahmad also accidentally sets the kitchen ablaze. And when they put the fire out, Uncle Pete comes into the room holding a TV. He drops it on the floor, and it's filled with a shitload of cash. So apparently Mama Joe did have money stashed away. And she's okay. I got one thing here.
I got a lot of things here. So
okay. Yeah, you could unpack that. My whole thing is, I know that Uncle Pete's got like dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever, right? He's in his room, apparently just watching TV every day, and they just drop the food off, and he shuffles it in and shuts the door, and you never see him. And then there's all this fucking cash in the TV when he drops it. Mama Joe's mean as fuck. Did she just set a TV in front of him that wasn't on because he's got dementia and just shovel fucking money in it? That's mean as shit.
You were correct.
Here's my thing, rewinding a bit. So Ahmad comes up with his plan to tell everybody about the money, right?
Yeah.
Miles and Faith, especially Miles, you're an in-law who just fucked your sister or your wife's cousin.
Yes.
Somebody else in the family comes and tells you, hey, there's a bunch of money in this house. If you help me find it, we can split it up. And you go, yeah, what time should I meet you there? What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? You're a terrible human being.
By the way,
Faith, you just run in and out of this fucking family like it's nothing. And now you fucking crush Teri's. She invited you into her home to live begrudgingly. And you fucked her husband exactly like she predicted. And now, like she predicted, you're going to grab the money sneakily with Ahmad and then run the fuck back out of town.
Yep.
Dude, you two should be taken behind the barn and fucking shot. You are terrible human beings.
Going back to my don't do that at the beginning of this from the wedding, if you are invited, have a little bit of self-awareness. Faith initially, like, she gets there and then she's like, oh, other people are here, gross, and she goes to leave. That's the correct. If you've gone there, that's the correct reaction is, oh shit, I gotta get the fuck out of here. But how's this? Don't go. Just don't fucking, like, I get it, money grubbing, you got shit you gotta do. I want to record my CD. Motherfucker, you got $31,000. I just heard Teri say that shit.
You already took the money out, bitch.
What are we doing here? And if you do get there, a 12-year-old's gonna, like, your family, stay. They are going to stab me with a blunt object. It's not even going to be a quick, sharp knife like it was at the party. It's going to be like a butter knife. And they're going to stab me multiple times. And they're all going to take turns. I'm going to go ahead and bounce. Here's the other thing. Cool, you're a money-grubbing asshole. You get to the house, there's got to be like 6 cars there at this point. By the time Miles and Faith gets there, and Miles, you don't recognize your fucking wife's goddamn car? I'd be like, deuces, and I would just pull a drive-by. That's it. I'm gonna go back to go do whatever the hell I was doing.
There's a shoot up the house, you fucking psycho. Just don't go.
There's a lot of bad decision making happening right here. You are what they call not invited.
You were right.
I just don't understand anybody. It's like, oh, I know I fuck. Like every time you see Faith, she looks so sad. Like, I made a mistake. I let him come inside of me. And Miles is like, oh, I fucked up. I ruined my marriage. And wait, I can steal money from my family? What time do you need me there?
Let's do it.
Unbelievable. And when Ahmad's fucking plan comes out, because they all figure out, like, where's this money? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they're like, Ahmad, where? What? No lying, son. That's bad. If I'm Ahmad, I'd be like, talk to these two. They came here to steal money from my dead grandmother. Your dead mother.
And not for nothing, they all, family or not, they all came to take their own share of the money and not give it to the rest of the fucking family. So you're all, everybody, okay, is suspect here.
if Armando ever found out how much money I stole from his dead mother through the Social Security program, do you think he would ever talk to me again? No.
Damn.
But the movie finally ends with a final narration about food, family, love, and keeping the family together. And everything is fine for now. And although this was very well acted, I have zero complaints. Everybody does a fantastic job. These movies are emotionally draining to watch, especially because everybody knows my rule by now. And if you're a first timer and you've gotten to the end, first of all, awesome for you. Second of all, my rule is if they were a stranger and they were this kind of asshole to you, would you talk to them? Then don't feel bad for not fucking talking to them because you have the same goddamn DNA. That person is a douche. Set them free.
Yeah, nobody actually fixes a problem. They just eat their way through it, which is fine. But that's also how you get your left leg cut off at 60 and you die of diabetes at 60 years old in 6 months.
So, you got diabetes.
I will take this over any of the Tyler Perry bullshit joints we've watched.
100%.
Because this is
100%.
actually way more believable of a story. And I know we made a lot of jokes, but whether you're white or black, whatever, the family dynamics here exist. The bigger your family it is, the messier it is. Period. Especially when you got older, middle, baby in that order. Like if you got a lot of kids, some of that messiness is spread out between the siblings. But when you got 3 exactly, this is the dynamic. Period. So I think they did a really good job being the writers and directors capturing this and keeping it somewhat realistic. Uncle Pete falling down on the TV. Money's everywhere. Yeah. Can we get Ahmad some treatment because your special golden child here that unites the family can't remember that towels burn on hot things. So let's get him into a school with all this money. And then let's maybe take any that's left over and get some counseling for the family so we talk about this shit. Because one day, it won't be Sunday. And we're going to get mad at each other again. And then Sunday dinner will really be gone because Ahmad's at school learning how to draw colors and put blocks into block parts.
Jesus Christ.
I really like this as far as, some of the cliches and, didn't see that one coming. Like, you're going to have that in movies like this. Like, especially when and going back to what I said before, there's this big cast. They're all good actors. Everybody needs their screen time. Everybody's got a thing. And you can't have one person that's just awesome and then everybody else sucks, or a couple, you know what I mean? Like everybody's got to have an issue and a problem and that's why movies like this, going back to comedy and horror, hour and a half, get in, get the fuck out, get to the funny, get to the scary and get the fuck out. With dramas like this, it's what, an hour 53, 54 runtime. You need more time because you got to flush out like all of the arcs and all of the stories and all of that stuff. So it's going to be a little bit more involved. But with that said, I still think this is a good movie. I liked it when it came out. I still like it. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's pretty enjoyable. If you're like me and, you're triggered about family situations and dynamics, you might want to watch us in a couple of sittings. Maybe not in one sitting, but it's still a good movie.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Totally agree.
That's all I got. You got anything else?
Yeah, I'll leave everybody with this thought. How awkward is the family reunion going to be when Lem ends up at the cookout with the cousins that he fucked up and came to beat him up? They're going to run into each other at some point in time.
That is true.
That's going to be so awkward.
I'd point at Teri. I'd be like, that's on her.
Look, at the end of the day, it was all business. I understand that. part of it, but it also, it's going to be a little awkward. Not everybody thinks like me.
No, that's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. But we'll end on that. For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1997's Soul Food.
Diabetes. 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 Diabetes.
Thank you, Wilford. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
So, you got diabetes.